From WABE in Atlanta, this is a special edition of Closer Look. I am Rose Scott. Yeah, I like when y'all do that. And this is our monthly live broadcast of Coffee Conversations in partnership with the Community Foundation for Greater Atlanta. We have hit the road. We've landed inside Corner Cup Coffee in the lovely city of Tucker, Georgia. Yeah, y'all clapped a little louder for that, but that's okay. At 2380 Main Street, and as we always do with Coffee Conversations, the topics are related to community and quality of life. So here's our question. What's life like in Tucker, Georgia? Housing, transit, economic development. We'll examine all of this. Do you like your Tucker the way it is? Should it be a little bit different? I've already talked to some of y'all, and I done heard a whole lot of stuff. So we'll get to that in just a moment. But as we always do, we begin with the people behind the coffee shop and more. And I'm honored to welcome, as our first guest, Michael Vordran, co-owner of the Corner Cup Coffee. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. Really appreciate you guys coming today.
Thank you for allowing WABE and Coffee Conversations to be here. How long has Corner Cup been here?
This one's been here 5 years, a little over 5 years. Yep.
What is it about Tucker and this location that made you all say, why don't we drop shop down in lovely downtown Tucker?
Well, so we believe community is a really big part of coffee shops. Like, you know, to be the center of a community, that's what we wanted to be with our first one. And then we kind of aimed for Main Street for about 2 or 3 years until a space came available.
Yeah.
And then one of our friends was down here and said, hey, there's a space on Main Street. And we literally were down there the next day. I think we signed the lease a couple weeks later. And just to be part of the middle, to be a place where people can meet each other. We've got a room in the back where people can work or they can borrow it for meetings. We don't charge for it. We just believe that the community is the most important part of a coffee shop.
I had a resident tell me today that she felt this coffee shop was the place that brought everybody together. And she said, you know, I want to be honest, Rose, there's some places I go, I see mostly non-people of color, and there are places I go, I see people of color, but the Corner Cup Coffee is a meeting place for everybody. When you hear that, what's your thoughts?
Brings tears to my eyes a little bit. To be honest, that's what I want, you know, like almost literally. So I believe that we're here for everybody in the community, not just any economic level, any race, anything. We're here for everybody.
And everybody's going to get this question. I can't wait to ask the mayor this. What is the identity of Tucker?
To me, it's small town just in a big city. You know, you still get that vibe where the neighbors still know each other. You know, I've been here 5 years, and the amazing thing is these people walk in and they've known each other for decades. Yeah. You don't get that. I live a little bit just outside of Tucker. We don't get that there. All of us are transplants. You know, it's not multi-generational, but Tucker just feels like a small town.
I want to give thanks to Dan Wisenhunt from Decatorish.com, who said to me, you know, Rose, you ought to check out that spot. And we look for the community. You know, marketing doesn't do this. Our executive team, they don't tell us where to go. Right. We look for the community to come to our coffee shops. And Dan said this is a place that I think where you'll get a lot of different ideas about what Tucker is and what Tucker should be. How do you feel that you all have become embedded in this community, that people now look for this place to be, you know, this is the place, this is family for them? Right.
Well, the first thing is we're open to everybody. That's good. We welcome everybody. You know, when they walk in, we say hi. You know, our team.
But nobody said hi to me this morning. I walked in.
It's because you're a little, intimidating. No, our staff actually interacts with our guests, things like that. We don't just, give them a cup of coffee and go. We've had friendships made here. We've had first dates that turned into marriages here.
Really?
Yeah. It's just like, it's really cool to just see all of that happen here. And we, for us, we also give back a lot. It's like, we don't, parade it around like everything, but we give back a lot. We give to schools all the time. We give to anybody who asks us for stuff. For the most part, we try to make it worth it.
Michael, are you saying if you come to Corner Cup, you might end up marrying somebody?
Could be, yeah, absolutely.
This is the spot?
This is the spot. If you're looking, don't swipe left.
All right, all you singles out there, I feel like we got a mixer coming up afterwards. But let's talk about being a small business owner and your relationship with the city. You feel like you have everything you need in terms of amenities or some areas that you feel could be improved, and this location especially?
Well, the parking, which I know the city's working on a lot. That's the thing that I love about Tucker is they've really responded. Main Street 5 years ago was very different. There was only us. There was only us and maybe 2 or 3 other busy restaurants. And now we've got a couple retail places. We've got a cookie place. We've got a bakery. We've got more restaurants. We've got us. With more restaurants coming in, so parking's been an issue. And they've really dug deep and really tried to fix it. And my understanding is in the next 6 months or so, they're going to have a really good solution for us. And that's the thing about it. They're really responsive. They always have been. You know, it's like our other location was strictly DeKalb County, which is, you know, bigger entity, so it's harder to deal with at a lot of levels. But Tucker, you make a phone call, they call you back. You know, they answer their phones, which is nice. You know, they really respond to us.
Is Tucker a small business friendly city?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
100%. Yep.
I want to just stop for a moment because, again, it's not my ego, but, you know, let's talk about the coffee and then the special blend for today and how you came up with it.
Yeah. So today is your drink is Rose's matcha latte with lavender. So it's one of our most popular drinks is our matcha latte. It's a matcha latte mix with milk or water, whatever you want, and then we added some lavender for you. You know.
Now, because lavender is my thing.
Good.
People who know me, lavender and jasmine and rosemary. That's my. I like it.
Good.
Is it going to remain? It's a staple on the menu.
Well, right now, just the lavender is not. So if you want it, you have to like ask for it. You know,
But
it's kind of like the secret In-N-Out menu.
Are you going to put it on the menu?
Maybe. Yes, we'll put it on there for you.
Thank you. That is the answer that I was. Let's talk about your staff and who you're hiring. Most of them obviously live in Tucker here.
Most of them, yeah, within a 5-10 minute drive.
You feel like you're paying them a fair wage?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think they do really well here, and I think that's one of the reasons. I think the least time somebody's been here right now is about 8 months. Everybody else is over 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's huge for a coffee shop.
I had someone tell me recently, Rose, I love owning a coffee shop, but if you want to make money, do not go in the business of owning a coffee shop.
I think they're doing it wrong.
They're doing it wrong?
To be honest with you, yeah. Yeah, it's.
You're the first coffee shop.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Yeah, I mean, one of the reasons we started this is it's a lot of work, but there's a lot of reward to it as well. Not just the personalities and the money and all that stuff, but it's just fun to be part of a vibrant community.
Let's talk about your coffee, where it's sourced from, and that connection there, because that's important. And I want folks to know, because we get emails all the time, what do you look for in a coffee shop? Well, we're very fair and honest about this. We want to make sure that's a coffee shop that is embedded in the community and that, is giving back, and there's a special connection with your being. Hey, you okay back there? You need some water? All right, we're good. No, I want to make sure our folks are good. All right. Tell us about the coffee bean.
Right, so we get it from a local roaster called Beanology, who their family actually owns the farm in Nicaragua, where we get 90% of our beans from. They're an amazing group of people. They pay their staff, the pickers and all that stuff, fair wages. They educate them, which is rare in Nicaragua. They educate them past 8th grade, I think, is when they normally stop. But if their pickers' kids want to continue to be educated, they send them, they pay for the schools, they help them, they let them live on the property all year round so they don't have to keep moving around.
Yeah.
And it's amazing and they roast it real fresh for us, and they know exactly where it's coming from. We're not getting, junky beans or anything from them. So it's quite amazing.
Where do you see the Corner Cup Coffee in 2 years?
Pretty much the same thing, just bustling, being part of the community.
Here?
Yeah, I just signed a 10-year lease, so I'm not going anywhere.
You have no place. You have nowhere to go. What about Tucker, though? Where do you see this city in the next 5 years?
I see a lot of growth in a lot of positive ways. The city, I will say I'm on the development board, so I do know a little bit about what's going on. But I do think the city is going to change, but in very positive ways. Like not there's a lot of cities in this area that I feel once it became a city just went so far, so fast. And that's what they wanted, and that's okay. But I think Tucker still needs to maintain, if they want to keep the generational families here, we need to maintain some form of small town vibe. Anything
that concerns you that you feel like maybe in 5 years it could be totally different?
I don't think so. I think the council members and stuff that I know, I think all pretty much have the similar vision of what the former council did, the founding council did, which was keep it small, but grow it. We have to grow,
Could the concept of the Corner Cup Coffee work in neighboring Atlanta, or you think this is definitely a small city coffee shop concept here?
I think we could do it in certain parts of Atlanta. I wouldn't want to be in the high rises and things like that, because part of our vibe is getting to know our customers.
Yeah.
And it's kind of hard to do when it's all strangers all the time. So it'd have to be somewhere that was community driven. A lot of people can walk. Kids come here. The high school kids spend a lot of time here, which I love. A lot of them get dropped off in the morning, because their parents feel safe here. So I don't know if we could do that somewhere like right in the middle of Atlanta, but there are parts of Atlanta we could definitely do it in for sure.
Do you feel what's happening in Atlanta is a direct influence on some of the changes here in Tucker? People moving because
For sure.
Yeah,
we
good
get
thing,
a lot.
Bad thing?
That's a good thing for sure. Yeah.
Someone told me Tucker was full. I was like, come on now, we'll start there.
We're not Florida. I'm from Florida. They all say we're full. Stop coming. So.
Well, and depending on who you ask, when you tell somebody we're full, you can get a different reaction.
No, we're welcome to everybody.
Welcome everybody.
Yeah, we have to be.
All right.
Yeah.
This drink, again, tell our listeners, what is it?
It's the matcha latte with lavender.
With lavender. And it's on the menu at least for today. Or you
least
can
for
get
today.
it and ask for it.
But,
How much you charging for this?
I actually don't know off the top of my head. I really don't. I don't work behind the counter that much anymore, so I don't know. It's not as expensive as most places. That's what I'll tell you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, one of the things we also do is we like to be a little more affordable, because coffee is something that people need. I mean, I need it. So.
Yeah. I appreciate that. Michael Vorderan, the co-owner of the Corner Cup Coffee.
Thank you, Rose. I appreciate it.
Thank you for taking the time. I really appreciate it. Now, when we come back, we're going to talk to the mayor and some other people. And I got a list here. Y'all were emailing me about ask the mayor this and ask that, and we want this and we want that. I got a whole list for you, Mayor, so come on back. We're back in a moment. This is Closer Look.
Thank you.
Support for WABE comes from Community Foundation for Greater Atlanta, a proud sponsor of Coffee Conversations. Rose Scott and Closer Looks Coffee Conversations is broadcast live today from 1 to 2 p.m. from the Corner Cup, where Rose discusses important community issues and matters that matter most. Thank you for listening to Closer Looks Coffee Conversations, sponsored by the Community Foundation for Greater Atlanta. Support for WABE comes from Winship Cancer Institute of Emory University. Their Winship Cancer Institute at Emory Midtown is reimagining the care experience to ease the burden of cancer. Learn more at emoryhealthcare.org/Winship. And from Georgia Power. Georgia Power can help Georgians get savvy on saving energy with energy-efficient tips, programs, and rebates. Learn more at georgiapower.com/energy efficiency.
This is 90.1 FM. For those of you who are familiar with blues names such as B.B. King and Sonny Boy Williamson and Howlin' Wolf, you're in for a treat if you join us tonight at 10 o'clock, because you'll hear some artists, blues-wise, that you've never heard before, sometimes exclusively here from WABE.
Closer Look continues from WABE in Atlanta. I'm Rose Scott as we are live for this month's Coffee Conversations in lovely downtown Tucker, Georgia, inside the Corner Cup Coffee Shop. And of course, we are on Main Street, made possible with the partnership with our friends from the Community Foundation for Greater Atlanta. I want to talk about what life is like for Tucker, and I want to first welcome the first mayor of Tucker, Frank Almond.
Thank you.
Also, Jackie Mofo, Economic Development Director, City of Tucker, and representing District 86 in the state legislature, Representative Imani Barnes. Mayor Almond, I'm going to start with you. Tucker has, just under 37,000 residents. You talked to all of them?
I think, yeah. Actually, the last census we had 38,005.
Oh, wow. Okay.
My family's a family of five. So.
All right. I'm going to ask you the same question I asked Michael. What is the city's identity?
The way I say it is that Tucker is a place where a person can live and work and play and pray their entire lives. So that means the breadth of their lives, all the things they want to do, and the length of their lives. And so we believe it is that, and what we're doing is working to nurture it to continue to be that. I
want to stay with you for just for a moment because you were part of the cityhood movement. Through your lens, when you look at where Tucker is right now and what you all envision as part of the movement, is it on track?
Yeah, we're very proud of the work that we've done. We've got, Jackie's here, part of just an amazing staff. We've had a dedicated group of council members, 8 years now. So yeah, there's been a ton of work done and a lot of good foundations built for the future.
Representative Barnes, how do you view this the identity of this city here?
A growing, bustling, small feel, and it feels small, but we're close to everything.
Close to everything.
So it's a place to grow, a place to succeed, and as Mayor Almond said, live here forever.
All right. Jackie, you've heard what the mayor said. You've heard what Representative Barnes has said. You agree? That's the city's identity? Grow, work, pray, play?
Yeah, I agree. I've come from a business perspective more as in economic development, and we see tons of opportunities for startups that can grow into small, medium, large-sized businesses, and that is all because of the support of the community and the access to resources in the region.
I just want to make sure everyone can hear. Can y'all hear? Okay, just making sure. Sawyer's on it. He's my man. Yeah. All right. Mayor, I want to come back to you for a moment because after what you all have just said, and there's actually a description on the website and says, quote, if you're looking for a diverse, welcoming community to locate your business, this is the place. How do you make the case for small or bigger developments or businesses? Why Tucker is this place?
Well, Michael was mentioning earlier that there are generational families here, but there's also a lot of new folks. We follow our demographics pretty closely. There's a great mix racially, economically, age. And so we focus, if you will, on all those things at once. That's the challenge for us, is how do we make sure that all the things those people need and want are in place and available to them.
I've been talking to folks before we came on air, and I have a list here of people talked about what they want and things they don't want. I've heard multimodal transit intercity options, more small businesses. I've heard some people say, leave it alone. I like it the way it is. Jackie, I'll ask you the same question. What do you sell, if there's a big major economic development project that comes to you and says, hey, Tucker, we want to be there, what do you tell them?
Well, we're very fortunate in that project can look like a multitude of things. It's not just necessarily mixed use or multifamily. We have a legacy industrial area, and in that industrial area, we welcome all sorts of major employers. Pepsi had a recent expansion. I share demographics information, of course, but quality of life and sharing why this community is special and the benefits that can bring to their employees is a big part of it. Also, connections to the talent pipeline. We work really closely as a community with Tucker High School to kind of connect the students to possible careers, manufacturing and other jobs in the community. So really showcasing that you're going to have a great community behind you that supports your business here, no matter what your size is. Do
you all work with the state legislature in terms of incentives or anything like that? I mean, we could spend a whole nother show talking about Rivian, but I'll get an email from the governor's office. But, you look at something like that, which was so important to that community, and now it's been paused. And it sounds like the state is going to make sure that they hold true to what they said they were going to do. What incentives do y'all offer? And I don't know if you do binding community agreements, but how do you make sure something like that can't happen here in Tucker? The promise of something and then they pull out.
Yeah, so we have a Tucker Downtown Development Authority, and they have the ability to potentially do a tax incentive through a tax abatement or a tax allocation district. They have not had a project and gotten that far with it, but we still have the ability. I think it's important as a community to really know what's important to you and really be aware of your identity that we're talking about. So when a project comes to you, you have your discussion and you know and can be transparent of this is what you can expect from us, this is what we're going to hold you to. It's that back and forth.
Have y'all ever turned down a project or told a project, maybe we're not the city for you? You don't have to mention the name, well, you can, but...
We do scrutinize, and I'll mention that while you're on the subject of the Development Authority, we do have our own, and actually Michael Vorndren I appointed Michael to that authority. And part of the key to that is that because we're a city and we're a local community, all the members of that development authority are local people. And so they actually make those decisions. As an authority, they have full authority to make those decisions. We work together, but it's vested in them, and that's a really important part of being a local community like this.
Representative Barnes, I want to focus a little bit on and use Rivian as the peg here, because what can you all as state lawmakers do to make sure that when there's something, it may not be as big as Rivian, because that was a huge, major project, but something similar, even if it's on a small scale.
Right.
Is there more that you all could do from the state legislature to ensure that communities don't get, I don't want to use that S word, but messed up if
Right.
there's a development that doesn't come through and promising so many jobs?
I feel like working more with the council, the city council and the mayor, and working closely with the local government and making sure that all checks and balances are in place, that we have the money, and if we need money more from the budget, that we allot it to the city. Just working closely from both chambers and from the city perspective. I have had city council persons from Tucker come to the Capitol and discuss some things that they want us to work on for Tucker. So
Like
I
what?
appreciate that. Like,
you don't want to tell us?
I mean, I'll just for example, providing more access for the city council meetings for people who can't make it in person. And I believe Tucker has worked on that and provided Zoom options or other options. And they've been advertising city council meetings more so we can have more public participation. So I appreciate that.
I've heard people say, in Georgia, Atlanta, Savannah, maybe Athens, maybe even Augusta, those cities tend to get a lot of the shine when it comes to the state trying to lure, projects here.
Right.
That it needs to be sort of filtered out a little bit more. In other words, giving a piece of that pie opportunity to some of the smaller suburbs or cities. You think that's a fair assessment?
I do think that's a fair assessment.
So Tucker not getting love from
Tucker is bustling and growing. We're having new developments at North Lake Mall. You see all the businesses popping up, whether they're big or small. So I appreciate everything that's happening here because the growth is immense. I grew up around here, so to watch the growth and the diversity of the businesses, that's a plus and why people want to come to Tucker.
So here we go, Mayor and Jackie, Representative Barnes, here's what I got. Less use of cars, there needs to be a mass transit connection. How do you feel about that? You don't tell people to keep their cars at home, they don't want to talk about that.
Yeah,
but
well,
is there a way to have a better intercity transit plan for Tucker?
Oh yeah, there's lots of ways to do that. Michael mentioned a lot of effort that we've put into parking. Jackie's working on that. People living in the area, in the immediate area, so that they can walk from where they are, all the way up to the most intensive things like, on 285 they're putting in HOV lanes over the next, 6, 8, 10 years. But there'll be a transit station in Tucker. Right now we're kind of in between all the rail and everything, so we have bus service. But in the mix of those plans on 285, there'll be a big station or two in the city of Tucker.
Someone said to me there needs to be more residential options in the downtown area. You making that face, Representative Barnes? You know where I'm going. Someone said there needs to be more residential options in the downtown area. Upgrade the classic look is what I was told. You're shaking your head.
Keep the classic feel. This is why it makes it more community.
What's a classic feel?
What we're looking at here looks great.
Y'all like a classic feel in downtown Tucker?
Yeah.
I don't know, Representative.
This is kind of
Jackie, when you hear someone say keep the classic, but upgrade the classic look in downtown Tucker.
Well, we have cool programs like our Downtown Facade Grant program, which I think kind of meets the middle of what you're talking about, where it's, grants can be provided for upgrades to your facade, but it has to meet our planning and zoning requirements, things like that. But it's giving businesses an opportunity to upgrade the look and feel and help support that business in doing so. It's a commitment to the community.
Do you need more residential options in the downtown area?
amenities are something we hear a lot, and I think that there's opportunities to increase amenities. Density is a conversation that Tucker is considering, but I think that it has to kind of go through the process with City Council. We've always been committed to having public input, and you see that with our downtown master plan and other plans and studies we do. So I think more to come with our mayor and City Council.
Will somebody ask this question about the residential? Should there be more residential options in downtown, Tucker?
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
We're in the middle of having a pretty intense discussion about that right now, and we'll come to an agreeable term. But yeah, I think in the long run, we don't need 10-story office buildings or apartment buildings in downtown. There's certainly room for more.
I did hear, let's build out and not build up. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, well, and we've got lots of room to do a variety of housing. There's a great variety of housing in Tucker right now, but the area around North Lake Mall is made to be.
What y'all gonna do with that mall?
Well, you mean if I owned it?
I mean,
there's a lot of great stuff going on out there right now.
Okay, if you did own it, what would you want to see?
Yeah, well, I tease because one of the great challenges in running a city is that you have private property and private property owners and private property rights and all that. So we don't own the property, and we can only go so far as to encourage or insist on various things. But right now at North Lake Mall, there's 1,600 employees every day from Emory Healthcare showing up there. There are a couple of new restaurants building out there. There's some big box space that's very attractive to certain kinds of business office type users, and so they're working on getting a great mix of those folks to build one thing leads to the other. You got to have people on hand to support retail and restaurants. You want the retail and restaurants to attract the people, and so it's a bit of a one step at a time kind of a thing. But they're doing great work out there. We have a new owner of North Lake Tower Festival, which is across the street, who's already brought some new leases in there. So takes time. And I can't do it myself, but we do everything we can to encourage them that Tucker's a place they want to be.
All right, let's talk housing affordability. You're going to play a little game. And Representative Barnes, I'll start with you. Can you guess the average median home price here in Tucker?
Oh,
come on.
Oh, over 150,000, of course. So, think so?
I'm just asking. Give me a number. Come on.
I'd say almost 300,000-400,000.
Okay. Mayor?
She's right on the money. I have an economic development director who
Jackie
tells me these things.
Yeah.
I think the number I was looking up was about 393 and change.
So according to Realtor.com, there are 172 homes for sale ranging from 28,000 to 1.3 million. I think that's the mayor's home. And the median listing home price, $440,000. If you want to admit that, raise your hand if you live in a $440,000 home, right? Okay. Where do these folks live?
I don't know. You said if they wanted to admit it.
If they want to admit it. And someone said to me earlier, Rose, I feel like the housing affordability was better before we became a city. Yes? No?
You asking me whether it was more affordable? Well, certainly real estate prices have skyrocketed all over the country, but in Tucker as well.
Why?
Because it's a place people want to be. It's supply and demand, right?
Yeah.
And part of it is Tucker is built out is overstating it, but we don't have a lot of new space to build something from the ground up. And so redevelopment is required.
That's my question for you, Jackie, because this is not just in Tucker, it's in Atlanta and everywhere, housing stock options. Now, we could get into what you would prefer, maybe more subdivisions, maybe more single-family housing options. We get into zoning and ordinance issues. What do you hear from people about the housing stock and what Tucker needs?
Yeah, and a lot of these could be questions more for our community development than economic development.
Sure.
So I hear more from what the businesses would like to see. And I think they'd like to see opportunities for people to then go to their businesses and live close. So living close, if that's single family, townhouses, multifamily, I think they just are interested in having the walkability close. And sometimes that can even be provided to existing, what we have, with kind of the trail and transit options.
Now, with everything that we've talked about, and Mr. Mayor, you talked about, everyone has said this is a place for everyone. Your city council, it's come a long way. It's not necessarily representative of the diverse of the city. How do you encourage more people, you think, to feel that you all, as a city council, as a government, can represent, the diverseness of this community? Do you feel like y'all could do better to I don't know if you have NPUs like they have in Atlanta, or you have a good relationship with neighborhood associations?
Yeah, we actually do. We don't have NPUs. We have something comparable in our zoning process, which is what that's primarily a part of. But we have boards and commissions that are all filled by local people. That was a big driver in becoming a city. So we make zoning decisions here, and our planning commission is comprised of people from here. Of course, our city council is. But we do a ton of studies. We spent the first 3 or 4 years, and that sounds kind of like a big deal of study, but these are deep dives into individual topics, so transportation, trails, downtown, and they all involve extensive public input. So we have meetings that everybody is encouraged to come to, and those things are taken to heart. And then what people may not understand is they actually drive our execution after the fact. They don't become a plan and it sits on the shelf. Our budget, which we're in the middle of right now, is built on what are the next steps called out by those various plans. And so the comprehensive plan and probably 8 or 10 others, everybody who wants to have input has input. And Tucker is way above average in community engagement. So when we put the call out for those things, people show up.
In Atlanta, where there's always been an issue of making sure legacy residents in particular neighborhoods are able to stay there, the city of Atlanta, to its credit, has implemented a lot of tax services, tax incentives, tax breaks for legacy residents. Is that a concern you all have here in Tucker in terms of legacy residents being able to stay here as housing prices continue to drive up, and that affects property taxes?
Yeah, we do in some places, and we've done some work around those, particularly a place called Peters Park. We've gone out of our way to make sure that it is a sustainable community. We also have the other problem where we have people in big houses, expensive houses, empty nesters and older people who would love to relocate and stay in Tucker, make that house available to somebody else, but there's not necessarily a place for them to go.
Do you have a lot of senior communities here? Is there a need for more?
Well, there are some senior assisted living and senior independent living kinds of places. There's one you can see right over your shoulder there, but not a lot of single-family housing like garden-style homes, smaller, more manageable places. And so those are all part of the mix that we're working on, looking for developers to come in and build certain kinds of things that we particularly want to see.
So that's what you want to see. What don't you want to see?
It's certainly a need in the market.
What don't you want to see here in Tucker? And maybe not, like do you have a good barbecue place? Because I'm a barbecue. Like,
We have,
how many barbecue places y'all got here?
Well, we got Ford's right here behind you, but Hickory House has been over there by North Lake for 50-something years. And
my colleague Aisha and I are going to dinner. We're going to go to Hickory House?
Yeah, you got lots of places to cover.
Y'all got some greens over there?
Gavin will, yeah. We got the Collard Green Cafe.
No greens, I don't know.
The Collard Green Cafe is a hidden gem in Tucker,
right.
yeah.
What don't you need more of in Tucker?
Wow. I don't know. What do we not need more of?
Yeah, okay. Do the young folks
we take
have a
all
place?
comers.
Is there a place for the young folks, the youngins, community? Generation Z, which is a whole other conversation.
Yeah.
One
of our biggest projects right now is a revitalization of Fitzgerald Field, which is a youth sports complex.
Okay.
So we build the parks with those things in mind. But we have the Tucker Football League, the Tucker Baseball League. Our rec center is bursting at the seams. One of the big challenges in the next few years will be how to expand
pickleball is huge. I got a pickleball community here.
We have a lot of pickleball, but we're in the process of building 16 courts next to the rec center with more parking. Yes, we are.
I might be moving to Tucker.
Yeah. We cannot add it fast enough. And the tennis players, of course, there's a little tension there.
Oh, who cares about them? Because they're going to get to the point where they're going to want to play pickleball. Yeah. Representative Barnes, we're getting ready to wrap up. Where do you see this community in 5 years?
More growth. Tucker has become more diverse. Your question was about the diversity of the city council. We are diversifying it, so I appreciate that. But I ran initially because it wasn't diverse, and we have like over 38% African American population and a very diverse minority population here, and it's growing even more. And so just to have some representation for that population is important. And also someone to speak for the lower socioeconomic class here in Tucker that have needs for housing and work, and they want to open businesses as well. So I appreciate everything Tucker is doing, but the growth, we have to also include everyone.
Well, how are you ensuring that folks aren't priced out or pushed out? Is that a concern for you? I mean, even though you're in the state legislature, but you have influence here a little bit, right, Mayor? All right. At least you do today. I don't know.
Well, I feel that Tucker is bustling at the seams, and so working with everyone on the city council to find out ways where we can expand for all demographics and all socioeconomic classes is important, and they're working on it.
Okay.
So, I mean, how many? We can't build any more apartment complexes, really, and then the ones that we have seem like they're.
Why can't you?
I guess. We can't build high. Can we build up? We don't want to build up. We want to build wide.
All right.
Yeah, so just finding the space to develop these places.
All right. Jackie, where do you see this community in 5 years?
As an economic developer, I'm excited to say that Tucker is open for business. I think it's important in the next 5 years we really want to be continuing to support the businesses that are in our community and attracting more community like-minded businesses. There's just a lot of opportunity tapping into the resources and best practices of other economic development communities in Metro Atlanta and saying, hey, what are they doing that's great? What other services can we provide? Where are there gaps in service? Easy things that we can do to better connect our businesses and support their success.
Someone said to me earlier, we just don't, and I'm going to get an email about this, but I'll take the heat for it. We don't want to be like Brookhaven, is what somebody told me, because they felt, ooh.
Just to be fair, I've heard we don't want to be like every single other city you can name. So somewhere along the way, somebody looks across the way and says, don't be like that.
Fair.
We just want to be Tucker. That was our campaign slogan.
That's a nice T-shirt slogan. We just want to be Tucker.
Tucker's very involved. I mean, the mothers group, we have Facebook groups that are very involved. The community is involved with the schools. A lot of the schools, they don't need supplies because the community gives, and gives. So
that's good to hear.
This is a very community-oriented community, and I don't know how Brookhaven is, but I'd like to keep that feel here and just...
And to be fair to Brookhaven, I did not say that. Because I already got an email. Mayor Almond, Representative Barnes, Jackie Muffo, thank you for being part of this conversation. I really appreciate it. Thank you for having us out here. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, we're back in a moment. I got an email about yeah, well, I mean, I think, and I don't know what that means, we don't want to be like Brookhaven. I think because it's been built shiny and it's been building up. Yeah. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you. Hi. You get him all to yourself now after his term is up.
To reflect on history's heroes and tomorrow's change makers. Discount admission for seniors and families through our Family 4-Pack. Group guided tours available. civilandhumanrights.org. And from Emory Orthopedics and Spine Center, making this moment possible. Emory uses the most advanced research developed by their top surgeons to get your surgery done right the first time. EmoryHealthcare.org/orthodifference.
2024 is a pivotal year in politics. I'm Sam Greenglass, politics reporter at WABE News. Keep up with the latest election 2024 news at wabe.org/election 2024.
Turtles All the Way Down, the international best-selling young adult novel about a girl with OCD, has been adapted into a new film. On the next Fresh Air, John Green, who drew on his own experiences with intrusive thoughts for the book. He and his brother Hank's YouTube channel, Vlog Brothers, are well known for promoting charitable causes and activism. Join us.
This afternoon at 2 on 90.1 WABE.
All the Way Down. The international best-selling young adult novel about a girl with OCD has been adapted into a new film. On the next Fresh Air, John Green, who drew on his own experiences with intrusive thoughts for the book. He and his brother Hank's YouTube channel, Vlog Brothers, are well known for promoting charitable causes and activism. Join us.
This afternoon at 2 on 90.1 WABE.
And Closer Look continues from Tucker, Georgia, where we are live at the Corner Cup Coffee here in downtown Tucker on Main Street. And is this month's Coffee Conversations. We're now going to find out just how small businesses are faring here in Tucker. I'm joined by Stephen Bentley, president of the Tucker Business Association, Gunwoo Lee, owner of the Bite of Korea, and Veronica Dalzon, owner of Munster Cravings. Thank you all for taking the time. I appreciate it. I'm gonna start with the food. Gunwoo Lee, what y'all got over there at the Bite of Korea?
Hi. We have Korean food.
Yeah.
As our name represents,
Yes.
the Bite of Korea. I'm an immigrant, and I've been in the States for about 11 years now.
Mm-hmm.
I was born and raised in South Korea, so when we are opening the Bite of Korea, I wanted to bring the authentic Korean vibe with the fusion dishes at the same time, so people can, if there are people who haven't experienced Korean food before, then they can have an easy access to. So we have like bulgogi quesadilla, Korean fried chicken. Anybody can just easily access to it. So that's our mission to become.
What's the specialty there? What's something that everybody always says, this is it for me?
Korean fried chicken and the bulgogi quesadilla.
We'll be there. All right. Veronica, Munster Cravings, what's it about?
So we are a cookie concept, and we sell literally the best cookies that you will ever have.
Now, Veronica, I have
Literally
been
the
to
best.
a lot of places, and they've said, we sell the best cookies. All right, what is it about Munster Cravings?
Well, I've been in business for 5 years, so that says something about how good we are. And we actually started here at Corner Cup Coffee.
Yeah.
And because our cookies are just that good, we're growing into multiple locations. And we don't just sell like a cookie that's just good enough to satisfy a sweet tooth. We sell a cookie that is going to make you crave for nights upon nights upon nights. Hence the name Munster Cravings.
Is this the cookies just for adults? What you got going on over there?
You know what?
They're big, fluffy. They're very good.
They
and
are,
a variety of flavors.
Yeah, we have over 60 different flavors.
Really?
And
Yeah.
I mean, some people
Well,
will
apparently
say,
Stevens is sold because
yeah. I mean, they're really good. Some adults will say, I'm getting this for me, and will save the lesser quality cookies for their kids. No judgment.
What is the go-to cookie? What's the cookie that everyone wants to?
Ooh, that's like trying to pick a
pudding.
favorite child.
Yeah?
I would say our chocolate chip is very popular, but also our banana pudding, as Steven stated.
You have a banana pudding cookie?
Yes, and a strawberry.
I should go in there too, okay?
Only on the weekends.
Yeah, only on the weekends.
Oh,
though.
can you make an exception? I mean,
You know, it's so many. We gotta rotate. We gotta keep the rotation.
oh, see how y'all treat me when we come here?
But we have a good rotation this weekend.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Stephen, when you hear Gunwoo and Veronica talk about, their business establishments, this is what you want in the Tucker Business Association, right? Variety.
Absolutely, yeah. We have a very diverse group of businesses, from big to little to work-at-home people to people that go into offices to retail to brick and mortar, all types of businesses. And yeah, we have every single kind of person out there, and we love it. And Gavin is actually a member. Corner Cup is a member. Veronica will be a member. And yeah, we're growing, just like Tucker is growing. I mean, since the beginning of the year, I think they have 130 new business licenses and growing. And then our membership grows from there too, because we're really primarily a networking group, but also we do marketing and help people market their business and connect more so than anything else too.
Is Tucker a city that a small business can thrive thrive or a startup small business can thrive, that the process is not as challenging as you hear in maybe some other bigger cities?
Absolutely. I think the lower cost of living relatively for Tucker is definitely a drawing force for many businesses. At the same time, the government is pretty easy to work with, and especially with Jackie, who just spoke, really trying to get out there and educate and give all the information for small businesses or any size that are wanting to start in Tucker. What's the licensing? What do I need to do for fire marshal? What do I need to do for X, Y, and Z so that I don't run into those roadblocks? Because and I'm an advisor for small businesses, many times someone starts a business and they didn't plan ahead, and it was like, oh, and then they might try to, they're mad at the government, but they didn't plan ahead. But I think what Jackie's doing really well is getting in front of that and saying, here's what you need to do, so that it kind of eliminates some of those pitfalls, which running a business is hard, as probably these two can attest.
How would you assess Tucker small businesses fared, during the pandemic, and now we're post the height of all of that? Some good and some bad?
Absolutely, right? Where a lot of like in-person type businesses is very tough. Certain restaurants is very tough. And it seemed at times, I think we're getting some feedback, certain big businesses seem to be able to stay open, whereas some small had to close. And it's like, that's opposite of what it should have been. But I think Tucker was, again, uniquely positioned with our cost of living. And we have a lot of like work from home type businesses that started. So people didn't really need a brick and mortar location to survive. I think really what they just needed to do was adapt and try to like modernize their digital operations and do things that were like maybe touchless or contactless.
Sure.
And I think they definitely, we were in a good spot. History of Tucker too is, we were a railroad town, industrial, manufacturing kind of stuff like that. And we still have a good bit of that, but at the same time, we've definitely moved very forward in like information technology and like modernized businesses. So I'm really excited to be part of this, kind of era and going forward, growing it even more. And we got to eat. We got to eat cookies, and we have to, the fried chicken, holy cow. If none of y'all have tried it, get over there and do it. So, and then their drinks are really good too. So he didn't mention that.
All right. I want to come to Veronica for a moment. How would you, talk about the path of Munster Cravings, how you all have been able to grow and maybe even some of those challenges?
Sure. So, like I stated before, we started off actually here at Corner Cup Coffee. It was our very first pop-up that we had. And from there, we realized, okay, we have customers, and we can really grow this thing. And being in Tucker means so much. I've lived in Tucker for many years, and I still do, and I don't plan on going anywhere. And just having my business here in Tucker, it means so much. While it's not my first location is in West Midtown.
Okay.
It was very important that I came back to Tucker because of the landscape, and this is where I've laid my foundation down with my family. And to have my business here and grow from here is so important to me.
How would you assess, though, in terms of being able to, and I'm not going to get all in your financial books, but, you obviously you're in business to make a profit. You feel like you're on the right trajectory here? And I mean, because you're a specialty kind of business?
Absolutely. I think Main Street is it's thriving, and with the new concepts that are coming into play and those that have been already established, it's just, you can feel the energy shifting, and we see that it translates in sales and the different events that happen on Main Street, whether it be 4th of July or the cruise-ins. I mean, it's just so much foot traffic.
Is there a rival to Munster Cravings?
I would be biased to say, but I don't think so. I think we are the best.
Rose
Not
Scott
anywhere.
came to Tucker starting stuff.
Look, not anywhere.
That's what I do. Gunwoo, let's talk about the Bite of Korea. You talked about this was the place. How has it been in terms of community support and you being able to, you're in business to make money, turn a profit. How's it going?
So we have been open for a year and a half now. And we have been just so grateful for everything that we've got, support, especially from the government, City of Tucker as well, including Mr. Mayor, and then Angela is not here. I think Angela Brooks, she has been the huge help to us when we were opening it, and then we've never received something like that from the government. And then it was amazing experience for us to be just having a brick and mortar here, and then support from our guests. We've been so flattered to hear that. We feel so good to like see that you guys are opening here. We don't have to go to Buford Highway anymore, and then we appreciate you guys. That just hearing that every day makes us proud of what we are doing here. And then we've just been so grateful for everything there.
Any challenges as a business owner that were kind of eye-opening for you, or you're dealing with?
Challenges. I'll say maybe the gap sometimes. Like I said, there are still lots of people who haven't tried Korean food. And sometimes even like Asian food before too. So that's a part that we wanna
more promotions,
in.
more
Yes,
marketing,
yes.
to let
And
folks
then,
know you're there.
Look, this is healthy, and this is not gonna harm you. So you can try it, and you can get satisfaction.
I have never heard anybody say they were harmed by fried chicken. I'm sorry, that's just me. I know there's some doctors listening out there. I'm just saying everything in moderation, but I ain't never heard nobody say, you know what, that fried chicken took my mama out. I'm just saying. In moderation. Stephen, what are you all doing to help small businesses here? I know you talked about promotions and marketing, but beyond that too, because we keep hearing this stat, we've heard it for years. Many small businesses fail within the first 3 to 5 years?
Yeah, it's a staggering number that fail. What we do is every month we have a luncheon where we have relevant local speakers. So for example, last month, Jackie Moffo spoke to us about things how you can be involved with the community. Like, for example, the Downtown Tucker has this facade grant program where they give some money to people to improve their facade of their building. The month before that, Tucker has a new fire marshal. So we wanted to allow people to know, hey, here's what you need to do if you're starting a business. Other than that, we always have speakers like that bring some kind of unique value, that teach, educate, lunch and learn almost is what we typically say. At the same time, we list people out in our directory, which has some SEO value. People can get found through that way, as well as we do these what we call elevator pitch videos, where we allow somebody to work on their elevator pitch. And that's always a great question. It's like, what do you do? Right? And so we allow that, and we film it, and then we'll send it out and put it out on all of our social, as well as YouTube and places like that. So, but realistically, the biggest value I find for our association is going to meetings and meeting other people and meeting the right person who might be your customer or some kind of contact that might be value to you in the future. So it's just that network element of life that we all, a lot of people take advantage of it, and some people don't. So we try to just grow that ability for people.
What do you think of downtown Tucker, this main street? I mean, I've talked to people, as I mentioned earlier, and I got different, viewpoints about what should happen. It's a viable area, obviously, but some people like it. Leave it alone, I was told. Some people said, yeah, let's build out, not up, and they want to upgrade a classic look.
First off, I grew up right around the corner in Stone Mountain area, Smoke Rise area, and I never envisioned myself staying and living right around Tucker and thinking that Tucker was hip. Tucker is super hip. It's cool. It's a fun place to be. The downtown, there's several restaurants and bars and things that are nice and fun to go out to. They have these events that's right down the street here, a green space where they have concerts. That'll be starting very soon. It's a great place to be. It's fun. It's family friendly too. I have 2 small children, so it's great to bring kids.
So do you feel you need to upgrade this classic look or leave it alone?
It's maybe some tweaking slightly, and the whole idea of going up, I don't think going up is bad. I mean, if we had some higher things, that might not be a bad thing. But also, if you know anything about with the pandemic, a lot of commercial real estate is empty.
Yeah.
And so I think that's an opportunity for people to put housing into some of those commercial properties. And there are some plans to do that in the area, and actually in the North Lake area. But it's not an easy task.
Yeah.
But I think Tucker is well suited to do it, and we have the diverse group of thinkers and problem solvers with our city council and our leadership and things like that to get the job done. And is anybody perfect? No.
Sure.
But at the same time, I think we're kind of moving in the right direction.
Jackie Mofo mentioned community-oriented, community-minded developments are so important to Tucker. You agree with that?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Does it mean no more big box stores?
It's hard to say no when a big box store wants to move into your area, but
y'all want another big box store? Yes, no?
I don't know, right?
Ooh.
Well,
I should have asked Jackie that question.
Yeah.
Jackie, you're over there in the corner. You can shout it out. You need any more big box developments here? I'm not going to, you're not a guest right now. I want to be fair. Y'all can text me or email me.
Well, if they put in that Costco down at North Decatur, that might be close enough for us that we can not have to drive to Brookhaven or Duluth or wherever the Costcos are. But
anything missing that you need?
I can't think of anything now, but yeah, more walkability, more transit. But that again, that's a tricky thing to do to get MARTA to have that vote where things get approved. And I've lived in other big cities where, the train systems are incredible.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh man, we almost missed the boat, but we shouldn't give up.
Would you like to be able somehow in the future, and this could be well into the future, where you could really connect with Atlanta via some type of rail? Would that be, I don't know if it's possible.
I'm not against it, no. Yeah, I would like that. And then actually, so you should know, or if you don't, the path system, like kind of walking systems, that is at some point going to be connecting through downtown Tucker, right by her shop, and going out to Stone Mountain. And then what they say is we'll go all the way down into town and technically connect to the Beltline at some point. It'd be a lot of connections you have to get.
Oh, don't mention the Beltline on this program.
Yeah, I know. I listen to you frequently. And I hear it. I love it. And longtime listener. And I do want to say shout out to my mom, longtime WABE listener, Mary Bentley. Shout out to you, Mom.
You shouting out your mom on this show. I love it.
I made it, Mom.
I made it, Mom. Is Tucker a bike-friendly city, y'all? Yes, no? Is Tucker a bike-friendly city? Ooh.
Every Saturday, there's this big group of...
That is not an answer, Stephen.
Okay.
Is Tucker a bike-friendly city? Jackie? Veronica?
Increasingly, it's becoming more friendly, but I wouldn't say it was friendly from the jump.
What do you think? He's like, don't be asking me that. Because a lot of people like the bike,
Yeah.
And I think it's a small town. All right.
I agree, yeah.
Veronica, is it?
I think it's becoming. I see sidewalks and I see efforts being made. Is it right now?
Yeah.
No, there's not dedicated bike lanes, but I do see a lot.
Ask the mayor about that.
I do see there are a lot of bikers, as Stephen mentioned, especially that come from Stone Mountain, and you'll see a gang of them. Mm-hmm. Yes, we could do better.
Yeah.
Let me ask you before we wrap up, where do you want your business to grow in the next, I'm going to say 2 years here?
In the next 2 years, well, we are growing at a great speed. We're currently opening one up in Atlantic Station, and that'll be open hopefully in June. We're dealing with a different municipal that is not Tucker. So thank you, Tucker, for being so great.
Yeah.
But in the next 2 years, we're looking to expand beyond just our retail locations into a CPG brand.
Sure.
And have our products on the shelves as a minority woman-owned business.
That is awesome. Gungwoo Lee, where do you see the Bite of Korea in 2 years?
In 2 years, we'll probably have one more location.
And here in Tucker or just in the region?
We are looking.
Okay. But you're not leaving, right?
Oh, we are living in Clarkston.
Oh, but you're not leaving Tucker?
No.
This is not the conversation to say that. Okay. I'm just letting you know. All right, because you're on your own if you say that. But you're growing.
Yes,
Wow.
we are. Thankfully, yes.
All right. Well, listen, best of luck to Bite of Korea. I'm going to come get some Korean food. I'm going to definitely get some cookies.
please.
Thank you all for being a part of this conversation. Stephen, thank you so much.
Thank you very
Best of
much,
luck
too.
to all of you all.
I
Thank
do
you.
just want to say next Saturday.
You
is
got a lot
actually-
to say, Stephen.
I'm sorry. You should hear my wife. Next Saturday, May 4th, downtown Tucker shuts down the full downtown, and it's Tucker Day, and it's a huge event.
All right.
It's sold out of vendors this year, so very exciting. So if you can come out, Rose, we'd love to have you there.
I will be here. I will be here. Thank you so much, the Corner Cup Coffee. I want to thank Michael, Ansley, Gwen, and Rich, and of course the entire Corner Cup Coffee folks. The City of Tucker, thank you so much. From WABE, live from the City of Tucker, the Corner Cup Coffee, I'm Rose Scott. Thank you all so much for being here.